Hey everybody, it's Minister Conway and Brother Philip with our Sunday service review. We did something unique today, and it was a very interesting service, an interesting take on the story, the parable of the banquet, where the ruler set out this banquet, and then at the last minute, all of his guests canceled with really lame excuses. And so what he did was he had his servants go out and beat the bushes and call in people who were off the streets and in the backwoods and anywhere he could find enough people so that the house would be full. And so it was a very interesting take on that passage today. Brother Philip, what did you learn today?
Well, when Pastor Nick was talking about the passage or the parable, he decided to go toward or use that to take his point on inviting more people to the church, or people who aren't a part of the church. Invite those people to the church, not just the people who are like already a part of the church and everything. But what he tried to.
We can't. It's already going.
You can cut this part out, right?
No, I can't.
Oh.
It's already going. It's already going to Facebook. Go.
Okay. And so
he talked about the Google search.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he talked about the Google search of how the top 5 things that are searched up on Christians are like, or churches are, why are they so mean? Why are they so judgmental? Why are they so hypocritical? Why are they so homophobic? And there was one other thing.
Racist.
Yep. Yeah.
Yep.
Why are they so racist?
And I've honestly found most churches to be full of all of that.
Yeah. But especially the hypocritical one.
Well, hypocritical is the one that gets me the most because people lie through their teeth all the time. This is the example that I use a lot. People lie through their teeth, and when I was dating, I found that most male ministers really, really want to fornicate. But yet they will be so judgmental. They will be so judgmental of anybody who's doing other certain sins without realizing that God puts all those things in the category of abomination, and God puts all of these other things that we do, not we in this household, but that people normally do, and it puts it in the category of stuff that keep you out of the kingdom of heaven and the things that are evidence of the working of the flesh in your life instead of the working of the spirit. So don't get me started on that. I'm going to stop because the spirit of the prophet is subject to the prophet. But yeah, why? You know what? As a woman of color from an interracial, who's in an interracial marriage and is a product of an interracial marriage and or a product of an interracial relationship, I have seen all of that in the church. and it's funny because even churches that are trying to be woke now, we visited with some where they say or do some things and I'm like, you don't have enough black people in your life because when you use this term or that term, clearly you don't understand what that means, even though you're trying to explain that it's time for the church to stop being racist. So, I mean, there's a lot of little things like that, but that was not the subject of today. But the subject of today was that people don't feel welcome in a Christian church.
And I would like a redo on that little mess up I had just now. So
just go.
I'd rather say, what the parable Pastor Nick was bringing to his point was that, like within the parable, the guest or the house guide or master, he asked his servant to bring in the lame, the sick, blind, all these people, so he had to have his house full, and they were all people that weren't on the list. And so, when it brings us to how we're all at we're all at the table.
It's okay.
I don't know how to word this.
What are you trying to say? Just you don't have to say it in his words. Say it in your words.
Where he talked about how Jesus, how we.
Well, I guess today's not going to be our best review today, so but we'll try again next time. I know that he knows what he wants to say because before the review we had a very lively talk, but if it doesn't come back to him, that's okay. We'll just close out. Do you have something else that you want to try and say? Okay. So he was talking about how all of us matter to the Lord, and regardless of our background. Now, I will be honest and say that has never been my interpretation of that passage. So it was a very unique interpretation for me, and one I will definitely, you know, I always like to hear fresh interpretation of scripture and then figure out how to apply that to my own life and my own ministry. But one thing, that he was saying is we have to make people feel welcome. And right now, a lot of Christian churches don't make people feel welcome. But I will add to what he said that sometimes people don't feel welcome in church, but it's because they don't want to feel welcome. They already got an odd against God, and they're looking for every little thing that's wrong, and they're not going to participate because you looked at me the wrong way, or whatever. And a lot of times we as a society, no, Zelda, get down. A lot of times, a lot of times we as a society, as especially Americans, you're not the boss of me. Don't tell me what to do. Who do you think you are? And at some point, spiritual authority does have to come into play. So just because a church doesn't make you feel welcome doesn't mean the church wasn't actually welcoming. Okay, did it come back to you yet? All right, we're going to close on that, but I'm sure it'll come back and we will have another discussion on it at some point in the future. But for now, y'all take care and be blessed.